Hello, the next CB today. You'll probably laugh at this. It's an LCL Economy. These are 1982. On-off volume, squelch, red channel display, channel. 5-pin DIN. Extension speaker, high-low power on the back. And the microphone it's come with doesn't look like it works very well, but it is an original. And the power lead it's come with doesn't have a fuse holder. That's always worrying. You never know what's inside when that's happened. And you may think, why overhaul a set that was only £49 at the time? And do you know what? These work really well. We were so surprised on some range tests. We had our test vehicle parked 32 miles away from here, on the edge of Nottingham, high up, and our tester was given, I think there were 10 sets to go through, and I didn't know, I was doing the test at this end, and I didn't know which sets had been selected. That was important. And I had to try and guess what sets had been selected. And I came up with some fantastic make when it came onto this one. But it wasn't, it was the LCL Economy. So there you go. Right, we'll do something about that power lead and we'll do something about that microphone. And then we'll resume the video. Right, well, with the lids off the LCL Economy, I found out what the gaffer tape was doing on the microphone. The whole bottom of it was missing. Anyway, I managed to find a replacement case in a scrap bin, so it's nice for them to have the original microphone with it. Right, we'll dig out the service information that we've got on these, and we'll go through the procedure. It's quite a time since we've had one of these in, so I've been making up a bit of a diagram from what we've been able to photocopy from the instruction book. We have a photocopy of the instruction book, so this is a photocopy of the photocopy. So I don't know a VCO alignment procedure on these, but as I say, if I ever had one of these which wasn't in lock, then I'd certainly have to look into that. That coil there is the VCO, and that is L7 by the looks of it. This is all topsy-turvy, this the way they've done this. There's nothing labelled on the board, so you've kind of got to work it out between the circuit diagram and the layout. Right, we're going to transmit, and what I do know from then is the first coil to look at into is L10. We do have transmit, and it's doing 3.5 watts. So we'll start with L10, and L10 is this one here. Now that's stiff. I'm going to apply some heat by putting the soldering iron onto the core. We do have a hair dryer as well for this type of snag. Seems to be peak. And L11 is next. L11 has a broken core. L12 and then we'll move on to L13. L14. L15. And L16 in the screen. Well, it says so in the book anyway. I'm not sure what's under it says there's a coil in there. It's probably a non-adjustable coil, but the circuit showed it as adjustable, but I can't see that down there. Anyway, by careful manipulation, we've only got one problem with the broken core, which is that one, and we've managed to get the radio up to exactly 4 watts, so that's quite good, really, because these are 4 real watts. And as I said before, 4 real watts are probably 5.5 good buddy meter watts. So we'll now move on to the deviation. Now, because there's no meter or anything like that, of course there's no adjustment for a meter. So move on to the deviation. We'll get the oscillator out. Right, we'll switch the camera onto the right-hand oscilloscope. What we're supposed to have is 2.5 kilohertz deviation. We've got 1.5, and it is the right-hand trimmer here, which is labelled on the diagram as R71, and I'll just write that that's deviation for our future reference on there. Okay, that's come up to 2.5. Just do the quick whistle test. Wallow. And that's a bit low with the whistle, so we'll just increase that slightly. Wallow. And there we have that. We'll shut that camera off. Now I'll just test it in low power mode. In low power, that's just under 0.4 of a watt, so that's spot on. It isn't adjustable on these radios, but that's perfect. And finally, we just need to make sure it's on frequency. It should be 27.79125. It's 27.79124. So we won't be adjusting that, it's so close. And if you had that problem, the trimmer capacitor is just there. You've got the LC7137 synthesizer, the 10.24 reference crystal, and the adjustable capacitor there for the frequency. And that's all there is to it, because it doesn't have many facilities. So we'll stop the video at that point and start again on the receive section of this radio.